and they are going to tell us all about the City Nature Championship. Peter is a seasoned iNaturalist user, and the City Nature Challenge coordinator since 2020. He's a member of the Alamo Area Master Naturalists and Guadalupe County Master Gardeners. He's a retired senior director in the telecommunications industry and has since dedicated himself to understanding nature and advocating for biodiversity through citizen science and iNaturalist. Does everyone have iNaturalist on their phone? Good. And Jane is the co-coordinator of the City Nature Challenge for the San Antonio metro area and an iNaturalist staff member. Since 2024, she holds an MBA from UTSA and is passionate about promoting the iNaturalist mission. And I also understand that they are excellent photographers as well. Is that right? So we are really looking forward to this year's event, and they're going to tell us all about its impact and the local significance and how fantastic our city is because we won. I mean, we beat Houston and Dallas. Let's do it again, for sure. So, oh, and most importantly, don't leave early. Do y'all know that we have a moth tent? Y'all know this? We're going to put it out. We're going to catch some moths. What? Oh, yes. So this is going to be really cool. So after the meeting, we're going to go outside and see what we can find. So take it away.
Okay. All right. Oh, you want to start over? That's okay. Okay, well, I was just going to stay here. So these are the three apps. I just want to enforce that, hey, there's a new app coming out. It's really right now available for iPhone and iPads. If you have iOS 13.4, you could download it, and it's in beta mode, and it's guaranteed to do all this: identify, learn, contribute, explore. All these attributes are making it easier. I want to say it's more icon driven. We still have our online iNaturalist.org. That has more functionality, I think, than any of the other ones. One of the things that I really like about this new app coming out, it has an in-camera ID suggestion. What I mean by that, it has when you right now when you take a picture or take an observation of an object, it actually brings up AI. So if you hover over an organism, it'll start saying what it is, if you're in good network, of course. So if you're hovering over a leaf, it'll tell you, hey, you're hovering over a coastal live oak. Or if a bird sits still, you could hover over it and it'll tell you. So if y'all are familiar with iNaturalist in your app, you'd have to take the picture and then you have to touch what did you see, and so that's all combined together, which I think is a pretty good thing. So that's all I'm going to say about that app. You just got to go try it. It's great. One of the things I like to do when I talk to people, I like to find my audience. What do they want to know? It's more, I don't want to just give you stuff. So one of the things I heard before this meeting a month ago or 2 months when Jane booked us is, what is iNaturalist relative to eBird? And apparently some of the folks didn't know the difference. And one of the things that I came up with, it's naturally, we all know this, eBird is limited to birds, but iNaturalist is not. Also in iNaturalist, what I like to preach is we want folks to make observations to become research grade. Where in eBird, if you could hear it, see it, you could tag it and record it. So we do have an AI app associated. You saw an example. There is an AI app with Cornell Labs, and that's Merlin. I know before y'all say Merlin isn't as accurate. I hear that all the time, but I still use Merlin. I love Merlin. It's kind of my, if y'all go fishing and you have those echo finders where the fish are, to me that's Merlin. You could find out. I may see one bird in a bush, but with Merlin, it'll hear probably 3 birds in the bush. So 1 bird in an eye is better than I like to see hear 3 more birds. So it helps me. iNaturalist is about 95% accurate. So I hear Merlin is 80. Okay, we're in the ballpark. I think it's good. It's also a community. The community also defines your observations or confirms your observations. It has some great filters. It also has, you could find a species by GPS location rather than hotspots, a little bit different. And I still like to look at hotspots myself to see where I'm going, to see what birds are there. So it kind of gives me an idea. In eBird, and this is one thing that I got to admit, when I first started doing eBird, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I got kind of turned off a little because it has a rating thing, 5 stars and pictures. Well, I thought I had, okay, I was being modest. Okay, I did post one of my pictures. I put 3 stars. Well, somebody came back and put 1 star of mine. So I kind of, okay, all right, I'm not that great of a photographer. I need some room for improvement. But in iNaturalist, it has a favorite where you could just go in. Hey, if you see somebody else observing something, and I do this to some of the Audubon folks. Hey, y'all take great pictures. And I go and put it as a favorite. And if I need to bring it up later or something, I want to see it. I do my favorites and so forth, and I kind of group them together. So that's a different angle. And also, you do need photos and sounds. You can put them in and get those part of that observation. But whatever you use, I really think both are important for citizen science and tracking data, and it is being used in the back end by scientists and so forth. So let me just go a little bit further. We talked about City Nature Challenge, and I like to say, I've been doing it for a while. We need to start thinking globally, or all the presentations I do. Not only do I do iBird or iNaturalist, but I also do other presentations around gardening with AgriLife. But this is where we kind of globally, this activity, you can see it's the 10th anniversary, like we said. Back in 2016, there was two cities, San Francisco and LA started it, and then the next year, Texas got involved. We weren't involved. Texas Parks and Wildlife got the other cities except for us, and we came into play in 2018. And it was basically all 68 cities in the nation. I don't know if there was any global, but it has grown last year. So when we say we were #1 in the nation, there was like 49 cities in the US that were part of that. Globally, there was 690 roughly. This year, they're shooting for 800 locations across the globe to participate with. That's a big number. Observations is 2 million. And I just want to show you this real quickly. You can see the pulse throughout the years. When City Nature Challenge happens, it pulses a little bit more. People get more excited. So that's what we're trying to do. And I know Jane's going to do the excitement. She gets the rah into it. But you can see where we hit over 3 million. But if you go back to the last slide, the observations were at 2.4. One of the things that I like to stress to people is our data going to research grade? Is it going to the back end? Is it going to scientists? And that's what I really want to push. And you can see here, active users. Active users is kind of slowly, you can see in the month of the spring, it kind of bumps, and it bumps. And during COVID, you can see it almost plateau. It really didn't do anything, or it barely made the hump, a little climb. Another thing I notice on here is that these valleys are really I don't know what Zoom sees, this one or this one. I really think these valleys are Audubon people in the winter actually still taking photographs of birds. That's me. I like to take pictures in the winter. There's no leaves in the trees, and that to me that's that rise right here. So I bet you compare that to the Audubon, that's the same rise that they had in their users. So it's slowly climbing, and one of the things that I look at the very end is once everything is done, where's that data going? That's me. That's my background. These are all the counties in yellow that participate. There's 14 cities last year in Texas, or areas. Skipping all the numbers, what I like to look at is this number right here. So this is all overall in Texas, 96%. 96% of folks or of our data went verifiable. That means they had everything there to be research grade, hopefully, which is good. And you can see here where we spiked. We were #1 in observations, which is great. And there's probably more detail over here and over here in those slides over there, or those posters. So we brought posters here too. You can look at more detail. But I did want to say here, yes, we're awesome in observations, but we still have some room for improvement. And some of the improvement that we're trying to do this year is improve our species count. Our species count, we were second in Texas, right behind Houston. You know, Houston, they have the coast, they have nice birding. So a little bit different ecoregion, but Texas, we weren't too far. San Antonio wasn't too far out. The other thing that we want to improve, and that's why we're here, making a pitch not only here, but other groups. Fourth in observation, anyone want to guess who was #1? Austin. Very good. You probably read it, read the notes. But anyway, but the other thing that I like to look at is the number. So this is our verifiable. That means it has all the information, all the data that a scientist would need. But does it go research grade? Does it get validated by three or 2/3 of the group participating or looking at from a community? So that's the average in Texas. So let's look at San Antonio. So San Antonio, we hit 96 verifiable, which is good. We're hitting the standard. But the other thing that I like to look, you can see we hit 53, a little bit lower than what the Texas standard. I love to stay a little bit higher. My goal is always to shoot as high as possible. Houston was the highest this last year. They hit 60%, and that's with, if y'all know, Sam Biology. You know, he really pushes that in their end in DFW. But we were still ahead of Austin and Houston as far as that, but still. And that was a snapshot back in June. If you look at today, those observations are still crunching. We've now hit the 60% or right below 60%, like 59 and a 0.6, I believe. And also the state has plateau at 60% itself. So we're hitting where the standards of Texas are right now. The other thing that I kind of mentioned here, I think there was a typo I didn't realize. So this is from Texas Parks and Wildlife. I think this should be 60% over here, the 6% increase from the previous year, because we actually went from 20,000 observations to 64,000 observations. That's a bigger increase than 6%. So that's just other things. One of the things that, and I know Karina kind of mentioned this somewhat, species of greater conservation need. That's exactly, to me, what we're looking for. That's the reason for the season, in my opinion, is actually what are the species of greater conservation need that Texas Parks and Wildlife have recorded. So this QR code actually goes to that site. There is a site on the Texas Nature Trackers that actually has all the species that are in decline. I like to look at this after the event and say how many of these species I actually hit. And to me, that's a personal goal myself. Okay. And lastly, it's not all about competition. It's also about connecting. And here we're gathered to here because we love birding. And our goal is to connect people that don't go out in nature, connect them to nature. So that's very important in the urban area and the metro areas. And then connecting people to build community. We're building, you'll hear from Jane in a little bit, how we're building those communities. Also, another pillar that we have is actually, I've said it already, but I'll say it again, is collecting data for back-end scientists, biologists, Texas Parks and Wildlife, Texas Nature Tracker. They all using this data, San Antonio River Authority. And lastly, guess what the last one? Anybody? Have fun. We want friendly competition. We're creating that competition with other cities, but we're also creating competition with ourselves. With that said, I will turn it over. And I drop my mic.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Peter, for explaining. I think I'm good.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Show me again, who has used iNaturalist? Fantastic. We're going to have so much fun tonight just talking about City Nature Challenge. Thank you, Peter, for telling us how important iNaturalist is to the scientific community and to us in general. So let's talk about the iNaturalist big event of the season, City Nature Challenge. I love CNC. I love running out into nature and finding out how many observations I can add to the iNaturalist database. I think that's just the funnest thing ever. 3 years ago, I casually went outside and started taking pictures thinking I could win City Nature Challenge. And then I ran into Peter Joseph, and he was competing. He had a plan. That's when I realized that we can make a big difference in San Antonio by getting people excited to participate in City Nature Challenge. So let's get to it. City Nature Challenge is, everyone knows, I'm sure, a 4-day contest around globally to see which city can make the most observations. Let me go ahead, sorry, excuse me. Yes. So last year, oh, did y'all hear? We were #1 in the nation, whoop, whoop, #3 in the world. And we think we can do even better this year. So mark your calendars. It's April 25th through the 28th. So April 25th through 28th, the City Nature Challenge. You got that? Yes. This is last year's results. So you can see that we were #3 globally. Yeah. So not very far behind #2, but we really made a huge increase over the year before. We did fantastic. So City Nature Challenge is 4 days. We have 4 days to make observations, and observations are photos or sound recordings of animals. But we do have a couple more days to upload pictures from your camera, from your phone. We have until May 5th to get that done. And you are able to take pictures and make sound recordings anywhere in these 12 counties, including the parks. So if you're in the right area, the right time, your pictures go into the project. So I told you that we were #3 in the nation as far as observations. In the nation, we were #11th. Excuse me, we were #11th in the world as far as participants. So that's our goal this year, is to see if we can find more and more participants. I know everyone said that they've used iNaturalist, but not everyone participated in CNC here. So I'm hoping to inspire you to get out and take some pictures. Here's some pictures from last year birders that we know and love, from Derek Mims, Tom and Patsy Inglet, and from Becca Taylor. So what we're asking you to do is during the 4-day CNC challenge, while you're out birding, take out your phone, take out your camera, and make some observations. And the cool thing about iNaturalist is you don't have to take pictures of just birds. You can take pictures of anything. iNaturalist is a BioBlitz. We're interested in all life, bugs, grass, anything. Take pictures of it, it counts as an observation. So like Peter said, our research grade could always be improved. You guys are birders, you know your birds, you can identify them. We ask for your help identifying birds. In iNaturalist, when you take a picture, the AI will tell you, will suggest a species that you're looking at. You can confirm or select something different. After that, the community will come in and agree with you or suggest a different species. And that's when we need your help, is in that observation period. We need you to come and come to our ID parties and help collaborate, share your skills, and let's get the birding ID up. Here's some events during City Nature Challenge weekend. Of course, you're welcome to come to any of them, but I think you might be specifically interested in the bird survey at Kirchhoff Prairie. We've already mentioned that earlier tonight. This is a fantastic opportunity when you're doing your bird surveys. Get out your camera, get out your phone, make some observations, and encourage other birders that you're with to make some observations too, because again, you can make observations of anything. We have events at Medina and at Mitchell Lake on Sunday and at Wilbur Woods on Monday. So as birders, you guys are very familiar with checklists. With Life List, you know all about citizen science. So let's have some fun. Let's talk about ways that we can have some fun with City Nature Challenge. We created a community challenge which allows volunteer groups to compete against other volunteer groups. So the Audubon is competing against the Master Naturalists, the River Warriors, Sierra Club, and others to see which group can make the most observations. This is a blatant attempt to get everyone to participate more in City Nature Challenge. And you're probably a member of more than one group. So what you'll need to do is join just one. And when I say join, what I mean is when you go into the Audubon project, there's a button that says join. For your observations to be counted in this contest, you will need to hit that join button. So as you know, birding in groups is fun. iNatting in groups is fun. Also, we made this contest as a riff off of the Texas Birding Classic. So find your 5 bestest friends and make a group of up to 6 people and see which team can make the most observations or observe the most species. And we'll have prizes for all of it. And as you know, the hardest part about a team is coming up with a cool team name. And we have some cool ones already. We have Bat NATO, the Dragonflies, and Rattlesnake Masters. And I would love to see some birdie teams going as well. So you know, with all of these contests and tournaments, we will have prizes. Of course we will. And we made a prize, new category this year, the Birdie Award, to see who can observe the most species of birds and who can make the most bird observations. And we'll have prizes for both. I mentioned that birders are underrepresented on iNaturalist. Maybe I forgot to mention that. Anyway, birders are really underrepresented on iNaturalist because I think maybe you're using eBirds more than iNaturalist. Let me tell you something, that in the Birding Classic, in one day, an intact flock saw 148 species, and in an iNaturalist, in a 4-day time period, it was 129. So we need you, birders. We need you to represent San Antonio birds. So we have that Birdie Award. In addition to the Birdie Award, we have individual observation. If anyone makes 200 observations, they'll get a really cool lapel pin. And if anyone wants to really challenge themselves and make 1,000 observations, we'll give you a free iNat t-shirt. And who doesn't like to play for free t-shirts? Last year, we had 11 people earn those t-shirts, so it was fantastic. And all the awards are going to be awarded at our celebration party May 10th at Brackenridge Park. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you need to brush up on your iNat skills, we have lots of different events going on. You can see on the website, cnc-sa.org. I have some rulers up here with the website address on afterwards. But a couple that are upcoming real soon is March 7th. There's an in-person training walk at Phil Harburger. And March 12th, Peter is leading a Zoom event also to do a deep training. We have a really cool event, a strategy meeting on April 9th. This is a fantastic opportunity for teams to get together and talk about team-specific strategy. Or also, we'll have speakers talking tips and tricks on how to make the most of the 4-day CNC weekend, how to prepare for it, where to go. all of that. A new event that I would like to invite you and your guests to this year is a kickoff event at Phil Harburger Park. It's going to be April 25th. That's the first day of City Nature Challenge. So we're opening this up to the public. We'll have some training on iNaturalist, then send everyone out on a nature walk. All the observations that they make right then will go into the project. So we're hoping to make this a big splash, lots of observations. And when everyone comes back from the nature walk, we're going to do a blacklight event. And we're going to do a blacklight event tonight too. And one of the cool things about blacklights is not only do you see moths, all kinds of nocturnal creatures that you wouldn't normally see, and also a huge number of species, which will help to get our species count up. And you can see so many different species and make observations in a very quick time period. So after we're done here, I'd like to invite you all outside. These are our moth tents. Peter's going to demonstrate. Fantastic. We have them set up already with the black lights on, so they're glowing and attracting moths right now. Oh, thank you.
What a minute. We'll have it plugged in. Go ahead.
Well, actually, we gave you so much information tonight. You can find it all on the website, cnc-sa.org. If you have any specific questions, you are welcome to email either one of us, and we'll be glad to take questions. Otherwise, let's go make some observations. Yes. You can make observations anywhere. If you want them to count for the San Antonio metro area, it does need to be those 12 counties and 3 parks.
Specifically was asking because I was told last year that like the zoo or
Okay, it's fine.
That's a great question.
some things are just not cool, apparently.
Right.
We're actually looking for wild organisms more so than a zoo organism. Yes, you can take pictures in there, but you got to mark them as cultivated. And one of the things that going to research grade, you'll never get to research grade with cultivated or captive things. So we tend to shy away from that. And let me just say real quick, now that you opened up Pandora's door, when you compare that La Paz and Monterey that were second and first, their research grade was like 9%, which is like, why do it? So technically that's why we want to make sure we go to research grade. Now if you go to the zoo, you see a pollinator that came off, it's on wildflowers. Yeah, that's fine. A fly, yep, that's fine. A bird that flies in, a sparrow that flies in to feed on. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, good question.
Yes, sir. Oh, use a microphone. There you go.
Some of us have wildscaped our yards, and so you answered half the question. I think if an insect or a bird flies in,
Right.
that's legitimate. How about plants, if they're native plants?
You can record it again. I do, one of the things I do present this to the master gardeners also. I ask them, hey, do you want to inventory some of your garden? That's fine, but don't make it a big your percentage of it. Just make it a minimal. I shoot for the pollinators, for the birds. Put your bird feeder out there. Put your bird bath and attract wildlife into you. And that's really one of our goals also. But yes, you can just mark it cultivated or captive.
And absolutely, if you want to do it outside of City Nature Challenge, by all means, to document your own backyard.
Hey, please explain the research grade.
Oh,
Okay.
good question.
So research grade, first you got to start off with verifiable. Okay, stop, breathe. Okay, breathe. So if you probably an eBirder, you start off with a photograph or a sound. You could post those, put those in there. But the other things to become verifiable, you have to have date and time and location. So you got to have those in there. And once you submit that, now I'm skipping over if it's cultivated or captive. If you put in something that's captive and somebody sees that, a horse, well, everybody's going to change that to captive, obviously. But let's just say there's a bird. Just stick with birds. you got those identifiable now, and you went through the AI because you've never seen that bird before, and you double check. That's fine. You probably knew it was a cardinal. I'll just stick with cardinals just because it's easy. So we know it's a cardinal. When somebody else also identifies, 2/3 of the group identifies that as a cardinal, it becomes research grade. Okay, so that's the answer for research grade. Now, if somebody comes and says, no, it's what's the other bird, of phaloxia? Okay, then you got it's not in research grade anymore. It's no longer 2/3. So that's the discussion that happens. Yes, yes. And then once it goes to the back end, there is some more. There's also the cultivator. No, I want to say it was. There's somebody else back checking that data going into their database, like Texas Parks and Wildlife. It's the curator is what I meant to say. The curator is also saying, okay, that looks good. I'm bringing it into my database, and then they start making the reports and policy changes or whatever they need to do with that. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question. Yeah.
I guess I'm the 13-year-old because I use Seek. Okay, apparently.
That's okay.
And so my question is with Seek, you see the range map. So does it go into the same database as the iNaturalist?
Yes. It is going into the same. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So you can, yes, it does use the same data. It just uses ranges, and it's good to see ranges also because the AI may not give you the right information. And if you look at the range, oh, that bird belongs in South America, And a lot of times that happens when you don't have a location spotted. You put the picture in and you do the AI and your location is blank. It'll put you like in Africa. It'll start. So you got to make sure your location there and then do the AI if there's a problem there. Okay. Anything else?
You mentioned that like concentrate on
Species of greater conservation
endangered
needs.
species and such.
Yeah.
What about the other end? What about invasives?
Yes, that too. We do. There is a group that actually. I should have just walked over there. Sorry. There is a group. There is a project actually that tracks all the invasives. And what are they doing with that data? I do not know, but I do know that we have a salsa squad in the Master Naturalist, and you're part of it. That actually goes out. I don't know if you're using that data, but it's so easy to find. But yes, there are folks actually tracking it. I know there's a guy in Austin that actually tracks invasive plants, and you could join that project. I don't know how if he just, huh? Yeah, there you go. Yes, I couldn't remember the project, and they just put in their project. These are all the invasive species, and when they see that invasive species being observed, it goes into their database. Whether it's research or grade, they're already seeing it. So
it's helpful to enter
yes. Oh, definitely. Yes. Good question. Yeah, because you want to know that, hey, that there was a habitat was native plants. All of a sudden, it's now a bastard cabbage or China berry.
Are asking this question,
That's
but
okay, Barbara.
I know that when we're taking the pictures in iNaturalist, we have projects that we add within our iNaturalist, and I'm not sure they all mentioned the projects tonight. What advantage is there, or is there one, to when you take an observation, if you're signed in to 5 projects, to it going to the multiple projects?
Okay, yeah. So there's multiple advantages. So I like to I like to say that it's one data set going to many projects. If you join those projects, let's say stick with birds. Birds of Texas is a good one that I do. It's a traditional project. If you join it, people are already logged in to looking at that project and looking at those birds. Your ID will become updated and probably get research. It gets more attention. Yeah. So, and there's Birds of the World project, and I know I get people from Canada looking at some of my birds, and it's really interesting. How's best?
Mm.
Come to my Zoom class on March 15th or 12th.
March 12th. And also there's a difference between the projects that we're talking about like that and also City Nature Challenge. With City Nature Challenge, join the project, just it's like an RSVP to a party, as Peter says, and you get notifications, but your observations will automatically go into the project. So you don't necessarily need to join the project. They're just scooped right on up into
those
the
are
project.
called collection projects. Yeah, collection projects based on a geographic location. If the person takes a picture, whether they know it or not, that data is going to go to that project. Where a traditional, you have to say, yes, I want to go to that project. And it makes a difference, yeah. But we'll talk about that. Any other questions?
Thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate you having us.
We'll meet outside.
Yes, let's go make some observations.
Okay, I guess we're done. Everyone online, we're sorry you're not here to go look at moths.